You know, Pokemon news is just like a race to see who can press record and stop the fastest. Now that I think about it, that's what all news is. Anyways, Pokemon has dropped the nuclear information bomb today with exclusive interviews with the Pokemon Sword and Shield lead developers. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's jump into it quick and dirty like. Or you can go read it yourself, I don't care. Links in the description. You no longer need to stop and record your saves if you don't want to. Pokemon is finally, for the first time in the series, introducing autosave. If you prefer the old method of pausing and saving, don't worry because this feature can be turned off. Me personally, I'm going to be using it all the time because I forget to save in everything in life. I forget to save money, I forget to save my editing projects, I even forget to save after 24 hours of breeding Pokemon. So I will definitely be using this. Some of the max raid battles are hinted at being much more difficult and are ranked with a star system. So the more stars, the more difficult it's going to be. And personally for me, I love this because Pokemon has not been known for its difficulty, and it's kind of nice to know that maybe there's going to be a challenge in this game. I'm not holding my breath though. As I think most of us expected, Pokemon cut from Sword and Shield's national decks are going to come back in the future. After all, they couldn't get rid of Ducklet and still sleep at night. I know I couldn't. Masuda says, up until now, we've been proud we've been able to include so many Pokemon in the games. But as a result of that, there's actually been quite a few features or gameplay ideas that we've had to abandon in the past. This time, they want to prioritize those lost opportunities and come up with new ways to enjoy the game. I'm all for it, as long as Miltank gets its own DLC. 8 gems are not in the game anymore, which means you don't have to have Bidoof in your party the whole game. I still will though. We did see them sort of shy away from HMs in Sun and Moon, and with how Galar is looking, with it being all open and free, having lock and key mechanics seems like a thing of the past. So I'm pretty glad that we're moving away from that. Experience share is now baked into the game. You no longer have an item that you have to turn on or off. It's been confirmed that there are now 18 gym leaders, one for each type, and this is kind of big news because we went from having Alola trials and everyone's complaining about not having gyms, and now we're gonna have 18 of them, and they're gonna be separated into major and minor leagues. In Sword, for instance, the fighting gym leader is gonna be a major league and the ghost gym leader will be in the minor. Vice versa for Shield. The idea is to paint a very competitive brand of Pokemon battling in Galar, where every year the league changes. Will this be necessary to complete the game, or is it just side content? Either way, I'm excited for it because having every type represented is new and exciting for the series. And now for my favorite part of this news drop. Pokemon will now have a mechanic that allows you to use your favorite Pokemon competitively. Did somebody say nature changer? Competitive Pokemon has always had a gatekeeper in the form of time spent playing. If you wanted to compete, but you don't have the time to constantly breed and IV train, well, tough luck, because unless you hack your Pokemon, you're never going to catch up to those that do have that time. It's always been the one thing in my opinion holding Pokemon back as a viable esport. But thankfully, Galar's lore is so focused on Pokemon battling that it seems obvious that they'd add a fast track to make your Pokemon battle ready. Now admittedly, they tried to help us out by giving us things like bottle caps and the EV training mini games, but even those were cumbersome and time consuming still, so it just gives me hope that maybe this time around they figured out what we really want and that the barrier of entry to competitive Pokemon can be worn away, if not completely destroyed outright. Who knows, maybe those of us who have full-time jobs and social lives can finally compete on a national level without selling our souls. Anyways, that's all the Pokemon news for this episode of PP Update. I'm GoodguyGastly, and I'm the most half-assed Pokemon YouTube news channel on the internet.